Alright, hello everyone and welcome to Web Developer Bootcamp. This is week 0 of our brand new course, never run before, so this is entirely new and this is actually my specialism. This is pretty much the first language I started to learn. Started with HTML, CSS and JavaScript and learned Python after that. So in my opinion, I might be biased, but in my opinion, this is the best way to get into coding. This will give you a lot of background information, not background, but it's a good way to get into the swimming pool without jumping into the deep end, as it were. So let's talk a little bit about what this course is about. This is CodeCamp. So we are a fairly new software development community, helping to take your concept, your idea, through design and development and through to hopefully publish software. We have lots of free classes, events and workshops that are both running at the moment and some that we have planned, which will be hopefully starting soon. We have some VIP member classes, boot camps like this one, and computer lab, which are available to supporting members. So for this week and next week, they will be free. Those are our 2 taster sessions. And then we aren't 100% sure about the following weeks, but we're hoping to have it free. That kind of depends on the numbers that we're getting. But yeah, we would love it to be free and hopefully we can continue the course. We are a part of CodeCamp. This is a 501c3 non-profit based in Los Angeles. We started with our smallest server. Our first server was ScriptCamp, and that's a screenwriting community. It's our biggest community with over 4,000 members. We have WordCamp for prose writing, and we have all of these other servers for filmmaking, content creation, animation, language learning, game design, and more. We want to help you to achieve the goals that you might have, help you learn new skills. So we've got lots of new classes available with your CodeCamp membership, which transfers through all of our different servers. I'm Joel Sprouse. I am a self-taught website developer, as I was saying earlier. I learned pretty much everything I know. Black Start, if you can't hear, try leaving and rejoining. I don't know why I said that to you if you can't hear. Oh, you can't hear either. Okay, my internet might be a little bit, Alright, sorry about that. My internet's not very great today, so I'm going to continue through it. Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly where I dropped out. I'm a self-taught website developer. I started out with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And my portfolio includes a directory for personal trainers. I made software for a radio playout system. How bad is my internet? It's very bad, apparently. Okay, so I'm trying to work out. Okay, I think I might be back, hopefully. Yeah, made a software for radio playout system, and online customer service survey. Those are just some of the projects that I'm making. I'm always making new software, always learning new skills. I first started learning programming around a decade ago, and I taught myself Python when I was just 14. So coding is something that's very much a passion of mine, something I very much enjoy doing. Went over that. So yeah, I put these slides in the wrong order. These are our membership options. to join to be a skill camp member. You can be a VIP, which gives you access to all of our pre-recorded classes. Although that doesn't cover some of the courses. To get that, you have to become an unlimited member for just $19 a month. If you're paying by year. Some other events we have across our other servers on WordCamp for prose writing. We have Writer's Voice, where you can bring in short stories, novels, stuff like that. We have table reads, similar thing, but for screenwriting. So if you're writing a screenplay, you can come and get some pages read. And script swap, again for screenplays and swapping feedback. If you're interested in any of those events, let us know and we can send you the links. So what are we looking to achieve in this bootcamp? What's our aim here? Will we have a professional website at the end? Probably not, quite frankly. Web development is just like any other skill. It takes ages to get good at it, and actually technology is changing so much that it's something that you'll be continually learning, continually updating yourself on as new technology emerges, as new devices emerge. Yeah, look at eBay from the 1990s and look how different it is to now. Fashions change, styles change, people continually change how their websites look in order to make it more attractive or make it stand out. So we can see, like, even just the way the fonts have changed as CSS has grown and developed. And there are more images now. There's all sorts of things have changed. So yeah, continually learning. So you won't make a perfect website, and your website may or may not need to be updated every so often. Let's do introductions. Let's sort of go through the list. Anyone want to come up on stage and just sort of say, tell us your name and how much coding experience you have, if any, because I'm really interested to know what experience you have. If anyone wants to go first, put your hand up. Hello, Omni. Tell us a bit about yourself and how much coding experience you have.
Hello, I'm Omni, aka Luke. I have almost zero coding experience, though I do have some game development background. The most coding adjacent thing I've done in game development is sort of linking entities together and that kind of thing. It's a little bit like scripting, but not really. Yeah, almost zero is the answer to that question.
All right, cool. Nice to have you here. What sort of website would you be looking to create?
Probably like kind of like a catalog to sell my art, so I don't have to do it through Instagram or whatever other platforms people do that through.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Thanks, Luke. We'll go into a lot more detail about each of your projects, hopefully towards the end. But yeah, thanks for talking to us. Caesar.
You're welcome.
Hey, what's going
Hello.
on, everyone?
Hi. Do you want to tell us a bit about yourself, how much coding experience you have, and a website that you're looking to create in this course?
Okay, so my name is Caesar. I'm actually I've been coding now for about a year and a half, just learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently a personal trainer, so I want to be able to kind of build my own website, but I also want to build my own mobile app device. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like going through took out a JavaScript, but from the library because JavaScript has been kicking my ass, but I just feel like sometimes when I saw this, I said to myself, I said, let me see what the community is doing. So I joined this class, this boot camp.
Cool,
That's it.
welcome. Thank you very much, Caesar. Nice to have you here, and we can we'll try and help you
Thank you.
to learn how to build a website.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Caesar. Uber guy, hello. Tell us a bit about yourself and yeah, how much do you have any coding experience?
Hello, everybody. My name is Philip. I'm sorry about the background noise. I'm currently working right now. I have a little bit of coding experience in a lot of different languages. I'm currently in college for web development. So I've worked with Python, C#, Java, but then I decided to go down the route of web development. I'm currently struggling with JavaScript and CSS, but I do have experience in all three. I've already built 2 websites, and my goal for joining this is to really just make the websites better and more user friendly. So thank you for having me.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Does anyone else want to come up on stage? If not, we will move on. What's good to come up on stage and tell us a bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Andy, and I have a bit of coding experience, just probably 1 or 2 years, say, with Java, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And I went to university for computer systems engineering, and I just figured that I would try to take this class for some more experience, like professionally, to understand how to make a website and then try to make a portfolio to use when applying to jobs now.
Yeah, cool. We'll be looking at portfolios a bit as well today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Leaf says, I took a course in HTML once over 15 years ago. I don't remember much. Okay, this should be a bit of a refresher for you, hopefully. I think we'll move on. Thank you everyone for telling us a bit about yourself. So this course, we will be looking at full stack development. All that means is we'll look at the front end and back end. We'll focus on front end. So for those who don't know, front end is very much about what the user will see on the on their browser, and back end is more about how the server works. It's more about connecting the browser to the database, for example, and to other things like that. So we'll be looking at both, but we'll focus on front end. This will complement other courses that are upcoming, like our database bootcamp. We'll be looking, I think it's week 7. That is, we'll look at databases. We'll only kind of touch on it, but this will work well with other bootcamps. And this will teach you skills and concepts that you can use in any type of software development, and will guide you through making your own site. Not necessarily in the classes, but you can use the web channel here, or you can use the web dev bootcamp channel as well. You can use either of those channels to get feedback or get help. If you need extra help during the week outside of classes, I will make myself available. Okay, I've just been told that my PowerPoint isn't streaming. I'm going to try. Naturally, if you are able to stream for me, I will send you the PowerPoint link. Give me 1 second here. We should be on this course. So that is slide 13. I think some people might be able to see it, but I do know that my internet's just been really slow today.
Okay, so maybe it's just me. Everyone else can see?
Okay. I know that it keeps dropping out there, so my stream also dropped out, so I can't really guarantee that it's going to work. Can you still hear me? Okay. Yeah. Naturally, if you are able to screen share for me, please. Because my internet is cutting out a lot. We are on slide 13. I'll go without the PowerPoint for a minute. Yeah, I stopped the stream because I know it's a bit too unpredictable right now. So we'll guide you through making your own website. And I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so in this session we will be looking at the different types of websites that you can make. We'll go into the aspects of this course, so the different aspects of this course. So some of the languages we'll be using, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, a bit of SQL, and we'll be, I can't see all the screens at once. Sorry. Okay. You should be able to open it. Sorry, guys. Okay. I will try and export it to slides. It might just mean some of the text goes out of line, but alright, we're nearly there. Sorry, Russia, we're just having technical difficulties. We'll be resuming in a minute. Yeah, Sister Des, brought to you by Discord. The app of dreams. Or maybe nightmares. Okay, yeah, it does just seem to be, it does just feel like it's Discord, because my document uploaded absolutely perfectly to Google Drive just then. It says as it all goes pear-shaped. You know, I'm going to say this is good because I sometimes go too quick anyway. It gets a nice break to even things out. Right, got it. Right. Thank you, Nacho, for volunteering. Nacho has volunteered as tribute for us. Right. So, in this course, we'll be looking at, soon, trademark. I think we're about ready. So, slide 14 when you're ready, Nacho. Next week we'll be looking at mapping and design. These will be sort of, really focused on the UI and the UX, the user interface and the user experience. We'll be looking at color theory and color schemes, look a little bit at typography, types of components, and sitemaps. Sitemaps are basically a way of showing how many pages you have and where they all link to, and that sort of thing. We'll look at some of the tools that we'll be using to design the websites in particular, stuff like Figma. Week 2 is called the skeleton. If you look at the course outline, you'll notice that a lot of these lessons are body parts. So we have a skeleton, and that's because we're building a structure. We've got different, we're using HTML to create tags, which is basically a way of styling different elements. So, have I lost connection again? Styling is week 3, that's called a skin, and that's using CSS to sort of change the skeleton. We're building up on the skeleton. Week 4 is muscles, which, as it might sound, we're adding functionality. We're making things move and stuff happen. We'll be adding buttons, learning how to process and sometimes store user inputs. That's using JavaScript. Week 5 is accessibility. This time last week, we had an accessibility class where we looked at accessibility adaptations and tools and things like that. And so we'll be looking at, okay, we've got the basics of a website. How do we make this accessible? Week 6 we'll be looking, it's called The Brain, and we'll be using Node.js, which is a lot like JavaScript, but this will allow us to create a kind of server. A server is a physical computer, but we'll use Node.js to be making, or hosting rather, our websites and our database as well, and connecting the website server and the database server. We'll also look a bit at APIs and how to get external data into our website. Week 7 is the memory, and we'll be storing and retrieving data to and from databases, and we'll be using SQL. And week 8 is looking at SEO and analytics. SEO is about kind of how we advertise our website to different people, and how we get people to click on it. If you go to Google, you Google search something, and a list of websites pops up. So SEO is how we get onto that list of Google results. So for this course, I recommend that you don't create a blog. But the reason why is this course is, we're coding this ourselves. We're not using WordPress or Wix or stuff like that. We are actually using code editors to edit the actual code. But creating a blog is almost always a lot of work, particularly making a CMS or a content management system. So I recommend don't create a blog, because you will just give yourself a lot of work, and there's no way you will finish it in 8 weeks. So don't create a blog. Other ideas that people had, absolutely you can do. So creating a portfolio, for example. Starting an e-commerce, that can be quite difficult. There are tools that you can use and software that you can download and edit, but I would say try not to make an e-commerce site yet. If this is your first project, maybe you make a portfolio, maybe you make a journalism site. You don't have to have, news or stuff, because it takes a lot to run a journalist site, but sort of making that design. Actually you could make an e-commerce site, it just probably wouldn't be functional in this course. And I would say don't create more than about 10 to 15 pages that are quite different from each other, because you'll likely find that you run out of time. That's not to say definitely don't do it. Just if you do stuff like that, then you likely won't reach your goal by the end of this course. Let's take a look at some types of websites. This is where I wish I had a PowerPoint. I'm going to try and share my PowerPoint. If it all goes pear-shaped, I'm sorry. Types of websites. So, this is the first type of website that we'll look at. This is often what we use for small businesses, and they might advertise the sort of things they make or the services they offer. They may not have a inbuilt shop. This one we can see does shop here. But over the past sort of 20 years or so, businesses have had to move online in order to advertise and really compete against the much bigger brands like Amazon and Walmart and all sorts of stores. So these small businesses have had to sort of follow the market and move online in order that other people can hear about them. You can't really rely on word of mouth as a business anymore. It has to be very much online, or people don't hear about you. So these are 2 examples of websites. You can see that straight away as soon as you visit the homepage of this shop, you get sort of products that you can buy and different categories. So you can shop original artwork in this case, and you can shop faux and dried botanicals. I have no idea what that actually refers. Well, I kind of know what that is, but that's one example of a small business. this is a demo small business made by W3 Schools. As a web developer, this is an amazing resource. I'll talk more about that a bit later. But this is another example of what a small business might look like. This is a clothing store. Again, big images of the kind of things they might sell. And a big shop now button. This is a call to action. Again, we'll talk about that a bit more in detail. But along this side, we've got the different categories of things they sell. Shirts, dresses, jeans, etc. And they can be broken down. Skinny jeans, relax, and so on. I'm going to see if I can check the chat. Okay. Unfortunately, we've got a bad internet connection, but welcome TBS. I was trying to, see if you can leave and rejoin. I'll try and talk through this as much as possible, and describe it as best I can. The next time that you might find, as we've discussed a little bit already, are blogs. So blogs are often used by both individuals and businesses, often to share news and updates about their products or things that their life experiences, for example. This form of site is less used by individuals, as things like Twitter, now called X, and Instagram are being used more, and lots of social media sites. They are still used a bit, but it's much less about the individuals and more about a certain topic. For example, we've got I Am a Food blog, which is a food blog, surprisingly. So it's about a specific topic rather than what used to be about someone's life experiences and day-to-day sort of thing. Social media has taken that bit of the market, so it is now about topics and businesses. This is one example. Many businesses will use blogs to outline new updates to their services, like Restream. So a lot of service providers like Restream, which we're using at the moment, not that we're sponsored, this is their blog, and you can see here they have guides and tips that you can use. And if we were to scroll down, they might also have like a post that's like 5 best multi-streamers to use. And they of course advertise their own service. Not biased at all. But actually that goes into SEO, where they are using these blog posts as like, these are what's the best multi-streaming provider to use. And there's a blog article, which you think is unbiased. And it's like, Restream is the best. And Restream have actually written that blog post, and that's how they can get a lot of their customers in. Blogs are really great at being able to answer questions like, what's the best multi-stream platform? Or maybe in this case, if CodeCamp had a blog, I think that's something we're planning in the future at some point. If CodeCamp had a blog, what's the best place to learn coding? And we might have like different resources and our own platform, so that people will see it and go, oh, CodeCamp, I want to join. So that's one way to get more, drive more customers into your product or service. Portfolios, often a showcase of like your previous work and skills. It's usually used to attract potential clients and customers, employers, employees to and collaborators into using your service that you're offering. So this is often for more creative stuff. Sorry, I had a weird noise in my headphone. So more artwork, music, maybe sound. If you make soundtracks or that sort of thing, you can have a website. This is Arrowwood Design, and we can see really cool images that sort of set the tone of what sort of creative work you'd be getting. My head is very low down. Portfolios should stand out. You need to be iconic. It should fit your own brand, and make people want to spend more time, because the more time someone spends on your site, and this doesn't just go for portfolios, but the more time someone spends on your website, the more they invest in you or your business or whatever it might be. And that's the ultimate goal, to get that investment. And portfolios often include case studies, testimonials, and multiple points of contact, multiple ways. So one of the first things you see on this website is this contact button here, and a contact at the top. And if you were to go to the bottom of the site, you'd also see probably a contact form at the bottom. It's all about trying to get that connection between your viewer and you. E-commerce. This is the one that we will focus least on. But an e-commerce site is, sometimes it can build off of a portfolio, or sometimes you might have a marketplace like eBay, a platform for businesses, and sometimes individuals, but generally businesses, to sell products and or services. It's designed to attract customers. Again, the longer you spend looking at things, the more likely you are sometimes to buy products from this site. The main idea is to allow customers to browse products and services, and to make sales, to allow people to make transactions, often using third parties like Stripe or PayPal, and bringing that all into one place. This is probably one of the most advanced types of sites to create. And this is another example of an e-commerce site. So this is the biggest supermarket chain in the UK. And straight away we can see products. We've got like Philadelphia and all these different brands that to the UK audience is like instantly recognizable. So this site is actually using big brands in order to make the user stay on the site and attract their attention. So Tesco in and of itself is a big brand, but it's using other brands as well that it's involved with, that it sells, in order to attract people. We can see the prices, look at all these deals that they're offering. And we've got at the top the groceries, favourites, meals and stuff like that. And in groceries, again, we've broken down into different categories: fresh foods, bakery, frozen food, etc. A special offer for Valentine's Day coming up soon. This is another type. I can't remember how many types I have. I think I've got another 2 after this. But this is news and journalism. So, one of the biggest at the news sites for BBC. This was taken on in September sometime. So this is old news, but you can see that these often have quite minimalistic color palettes, as on most sites, but most news sites. It's this is actually quite traditional with newspapers. It used to be very red, black, and white, and it's like that on the BBC. Different news sites obviously will look different, but even on a much smaller site, Disability News Service, for example, it's still a very minimalist color scheme. We've got a little bit of red up here, but it's mainly black and white, aside from adverts. And yeah, we've got different categories of news as well: cost of living, war in Ukraine, climate UK, etc. And again, if you're in the UK, then you can break down into England, Northern Ireland, Scotland, etc. And same for the smaller site: independent living, activism, so on. So we can categorize these news articles. One of the last ones I want to look at is the student forum. And this is a lot bigger, a lot more harder to read. There's a lot more text because obviously these are all different posts. Forums are very text-based. But we've got this navigation bar. Again, that's a common theme with different categories. Let's look at a case study for a charity website. And this is quite different, and I'm going to talk you through this website. This is for WWF, which is an international non-government organization that's about protecting the environment. And I want us to see the emotional journey that WWF takes you on in order to try and get that donation. Because this is a charity, that's what this site is all about. It's trying to get you to donate. So, this is a homepage. And the first thing you notice is this image here. This grabs your eye. And the reason for that is this is like a bright red orange. And this makes you instinctively look at it. It's a massive like fire. And back from when we were cavemen or whatever, fire is danger. And so even now, we often associate the colour red with urgency, immediate action required. So that straight away we are hooked because instinctively we've gone immediate action needed. The next thing we notice is this big text here. Tell your MP to act on climate change. MP being like, I think the equivalent is like member of Congress or something. So this is a call to action. This whole box, the green box, but also the right to your MP button down here. We've got our selling point. Why should we tell our MP to act? And what are we acting on? You read this bit of text, and then we've got our call to action button. Notice how this call to action button is separate from the rest of like the content. It's separate from the screen box. It's separate from the image, and it's the color contrast, white on black and black on white. To again, just make your eye go to that big text and call to action. And then as we scroll down, we move away from the danger and to these really beautiful pictures. These beautiful forests, these animals that are so close. And look, every so often you'll see a donate now button because we want to save this cute little cat as it looks on our screen. It's a massive cat in real life, but here it looks like a cute cat. And then we've got our success stories. So look, again, we're scrolling down from this danger into the green. And that's encouraging our instincts. We want to go further down. We want to spend more time on the site. And look how good it's getting, all of this greenery. And that's what WWF is doing. And so all of these things take you onto this emotional journey that make you want to donate. So, this sort of technique is used a lot by charities, particularly nature related charities. Let's look at front end versus back end. Front end is what the users see as the user, what they will see on the browser. So this is almost always HTML, CSS, JavaScript, the structure, the style, and the functionality. All of this is usually rendered or executed. This code is rendered on the user's device, on the client side. That's what front end can be called, sometimes the client side. And then we've got a back end, also known as the server side. And this is usually executed on the servers. That's like giving all this information to the browser. So this is what controls what happens on the front end, and this content can be much more easily controlled by data that's on the server. So the database, for example, or external sources like an API. So yeah, data from another site basically, or login details. If you go to Gmail, and you log in, if you're logged in and you go to Gmail, you get your inbox. But if you're not logged in and you go to Gmail, you get a selling point, word's gone from my mind. But yeah, why you should use Gmail, for example. So that all of that is controlled by the backend. Here's a bit of an analogy for you, if it's helpful. The front end is the front of house in a theatre. This is where the audience sits and watches what's on stage, and we see the actors, the dancers, the props, all of that sort of thing, the set, and so on. Sometimes the musicians, but yeah, we see what's happening on the stage as the audience. And then the back end is the back of house. This is where the technicians are, and this is where they and they do like the behind the scenes things, controlling the lighting equipment, the sound mixer. Maybe the musicians are there, and that sort of thing. And that's similar in front end and back end. The front end is what the users see: the fonts, the colors, images, buttons, headings, text, audio, stuff like that. And the back end is the programming that makes it all work. The database, the APIs, and things like that. Some sites only need a front end. That's called a static site. And that might be... It could be WWF, for example, or a portfolio, actually. They're often static sites. It's just one site. There's no like login in functionality or anything like that. But some sites do need that ability to update based on a variety of factors, whether the user's logged in, what time of day it is sometimes, what other examples might there be? The weather. If you go to like weather.com, it will get your location. It will check like the database or whatever it is they use to forecast the information and display that to you. And even in a weather app, there's different settings, so you can view it in Celsius or you can view it in Fahrenheit. And the backend will see, okay, is the user set it to Celsius or to Fahrenheit? And then it will tell the front end, okay, it's 10 degrees Celsius, it's, 5 degrees Celsius, which means that it is, 40 Fahrenheit, roughly, for example. And it's a backend telling the front end what to do. So yeah, some sites can't be static, they need to be able to update using a database, using an API, or something like that. And when we talk about full stack, that refers to both the front end and the back end. So what makes a website? Oh, and by the way, something I know about myself, I often go quite quickly into topics. If anyone's got any questions, feel free to use the chat at any point. But what is it that actually makes a website? There are lots of different languages that you can learn. But there are 3 in particular that every site will use pretty much. And that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what are these languages for? As we're doing with this course, let's compare it to the human body. We've got our skeleton, or our structure, for HTML. For CSS, that's our skin, or the appearance. For JavaScript, that's the muscles and the functionality. And it's these 3 languages that make this site a website. So, these are 3 main languages that make a site. HTML isn't technically a programming language. It's a markup language. And this is what defines the structure of the website. Now I've covered all of this. JavaScript is what adds functionality. So when you click a button, it will run a function, something will happen. Maybe it will change the text on the screen, or something along those lines. Then we've got other more complex languages like another one might be PHP, which often allows you to connect the website to a database. And that database, in this bootcamp, we'll be using MySQL. There's a number of other options that you could use, like MariaDB or Postgres. We'll be using MySQL. And this is like a type of SQL, a structured query language. And that's what we're using to interact with databases. We can use SQL to create databases and create tables. And a database is just a fancy way of saying multiple tables linked together in some way. We will host, as I said, a database bootcamp in the future. So we won't get into detail, but in this course, we'll look at the basics. So what tools will we use? The first thing that we'll be using is a code editor. There are like websites like JS Fiddle, which allow you to make the front end on a online without having to download any software. But there will come a point in this bootcamp where that won't work for much longer. So we recommend you get a code editor now, so that you're able to keep up with the course the whole way through. You will need a code editor at some point. There's a number that we recommend. I think we type software in the chat, and we get a couple of them. I haven't updated this. But these are some that we recommend. So Sublime Text, Notepad++, Bluefish, NetBeans are all reported to be quite good. Visual Studio Code is the one I use. You could use like the default text editor that comes with your computer, like Notepad or TextEdit, but that makes your life a bit harder. Oh, and when I say Visual Studio Code, I mean Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio. There's a difference. One will not allow you to make websites. So Visual Studio Code. Next slide, please, Omni. This is one of the tools that we'll be using, Figma. This will allow us to, excuse me, my voice is going slightly. This is one of the tools that we can use to design user interfaces. So all of the software that I'm recommending are all completely free. Yeah, Figma is free. It allows you to design user interfaces, and yeah, design what your software might look like without actually coding. It's a little bit slightly like Adobe Illustrator. And you can use it to design other things as well, like flowcharts and sitemaps. So we'll be looking at that next week. And the last thing, other software that we'll be using is Node.js. And this is a bit more complicated. This is a JavaScript server environment. Basically, it's a way that we can, it's like our link between database and website. And you can get packages or libraries made by other people using NPM, Node Package Manager, that allows to add functionality without like having to reinvent the wheel. So yeah, but we'll go on to a bit more about Node.js in I think week 3. So let's discuss. What are you looking to create? We've got about a half hour or so, a bit more than that, to sort of look at your projects and see what do you want to make. What kind of site is it? Is it a store? I didn't finish that slide apparently. Is it like an e-commerce? Is it a portfolio? Is it any of the other slides that I talked about? What is it that you want to make? What's the purpose of your site? So in media, there's like a number of different purposes to media, to educate, to inform, to entertain, to advise, and things like that. And who is the target audience? So I'd be interested to know what people are making. Does anyone want to go first and just tell us what they want to make?
I can. Is this the last slide?
One of them. I think we do have one slide, but
All right, I'll leave it
yeah.
open. So I guess it's not e-commerce. It's just a small business shop, I guess. I basically want to upload art prints and sell them. So it would be like a sort of a portfolio and a small business website.
All right. So I guess something that you might want to think about is what kind of brand are you looking to set up? So that might reflect the kind of artwork or the kind of content that you're making. If it's like quite dark, or maybe it's quite light, and it can be feminine, it could be a lot more masculine.
Sure.
Um,
I think I have a pretty good idea of what it should look like.
mhm. So creating a portfolio that sort of should match your brand and also needs to attract your target audience. Who that's it. Online you can attract all sorts of people. But it's always a good idea to try and attract one specific group of people. So have you thought about a bit about that maybe?
A little bit. I mean, my art really only appeals to a certain group of people, so if I just make my site look like my art, then, problem solved.
Yeah. Alright. Okay. Cool. Thank you very much, Omni. Either guy, come up to the stage. Hello. Yeah, same question for you, I guess.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Basically what I've already created, but trying to make better in the creation of it is I'm building a website for the company that I'm working for now. And right now it's just a form sheet. I want to be able to have people log into it, update their address, and have that email of their updates sent out to particular other companies. That way it's a lot easier for us. I do want it to be a multi-page website where users can go in and again update their addresses, put in their doctor's appointments and things of that nature in, and just request rides and drivers. At this point in time, the only thing I got up is a form, and it its backend is actually linked to the Google Sheets instead of SQL or something like that. So learning how to just link everything together and make everything work more fluently. So my target audience in that case would be the clients that need Rise.
Okay, so just to check that I understand, is it the staff who are using this, or are the customers booking their own appointments?
Say that first part again. I'm sorry.
Is it the staff who are making are using the website, or are the customers making their own appointments?
That is a good question. It's mainly going to be used for the customer and like higher up people. And what I mean by that is if there's an update to a ride or something like, not an update to a ride, if there's an update to where they're getting picked up or dropped off, I did want an email being sent out and a notification going to the owner to let them know that something has changed. But for the most part, yeah, it'd be more of the clients getting their own login, updating their stuff, and things being updated that way.
Right. Okay. So you have a kind of system already, using Google Sheets. Would you say that works for you, or do you think you would have to design a database from scratch?
It works good, but there's a lot of things that I want to be able to do. Using Google Sheets, I have to write a whole separate code that I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't even understand for the most part. I just kind of had a chat GPT write me some code that anytime something gets submitted, it goes through Google Sheets. I rather have something I'm more accustomed to. That way, if things need to get edited on the fly, they can be a lot quicker. And I don't want to be too much limited to how I do things. So I can get it linked to something like the Microsoft one, I forgot what it's called, Access, or just something where I can have better control of.
Yeah, okay. So in your case, I think, yeah, using a database is a lot easier, so that you can organize data in a much more cohesive way. I would say that this sort of project goes a bit outside of our scope for this course in particular. But sorry, I can't remember. Did you say you had coding experience before?
Yes, sir. So I think I jumped the ball a little bit too much. So what I want of right now is the CSS of it to look different in a sense.
You want the CSS to make it look different, did you say? Sorry, I might be a little bit unclear.
Sorry about that. I'm currently in a Burger King in this meeting. Yes, sir. So the CSS it's just a form right now on a web page. And one of the things that I struggle with besides JavaScript is my CSS coding.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding where to put things, how to put things, organizing it. It seems like every time I change one simple thing in my CSS, everything changes on the web page.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose of me pointing out the CSS is just to make it more informative to the clients of what they need to do in it, and just make it overall just a better look and feel for anybody that decides to just click on the website.
Got it. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for and so I'm glad you got like sort of what software you want to create already in your mind. You've got like who your target audience is. In this case, your customers, of it like already existing. Like already existing. I guess this is more rather than you creating a new website. You're kind of adapting what you've already got. Thank you very much. Let's move on. Who else wants to go? I saw some people put their hands up earlier. coming up, Caesar?
Hey, what's going on? Me pretty
Hiya.
much I'm trying to make my portfolio look better. So I could go ahead and I could pitch kind of like my business. So what I want to basically do is I want to be able to make my portfolio I'm not gonna say perfected, but I got a few changes I gotta make, and then I want to build websites for small businesses that don't have the time to do this. So I understand that like with businesses, data is a big thing. So JavaScript has been my biggest issue. But yeah, that's about it. Just making my portfolio look a little bit better for now.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Thank you very much. So, out of interest, who is your target audience? Who are you trying to attract in this case?
In this case, in terms of businesses, that's the big that my niche. I don't necessarily have one right now. Like I'm trying to find which is gonna be the perfect niche for me. I thought it was fitness, um, just because I love it, but I don't know. I want to try something different. Um, that really that really needs. I'm not gonna say. I think everybody needs web development in terms of to channel their vision into the digital space. But I don't know yet. I guess I don't know yet what I want my target audience to be yet. I want to be able to make sure that if I go into a niche, I'm gonna like it. If that makes sense. Oh,
Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much. Cool. Thank you, Caesar. Anyone else want to talk about their site that they want to make? Just raise your hand or let us know in the chat. We've got about half hour or so to sort of workshop ideas and help you maybe figure out your target audience, figure out what kind of site you want to create in the next 8 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think Nacho is trying to say something.
Oh no, I don't think he was. Nacho is my assistant. If he does have anything, he can come up.
Okay.
But I think he was just saying
Oh,
that.
okay.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries. Thank you.
Yeah, don't be shy. You can all jump on stage if you want.
I think this is like the last thing that we've got for today, so we can finish early. I can have my lunch, and then Mike come up on stage. Hello there.
Yep.
Mike, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Oh, I can hear him.
Oh, sorry. It's mine then. Give me a second.
All right, is everything okay, right?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Sorry about that.
All right.
Try again.
All right. So the site that I want to make during this course is kind of a lead capture for my web development agency. I personally am starting to learn web development just to understand what my team is doing, not getting played around in it. The kind of site it is kind of a lead capture, and my cold call team will respond to any leads, and I want to make sure that the leads directly get on a Google Sheet where my team can access it through CRM software. The purpose of my site is to basically and directly have a call with them in order for them to purchase the web development package. My target audience is businesses that are in Canada, specifically real estate.
Okay, cool.
I cannot hear you.
So, Nacho asks, are you currently using a CRM that you need to connect with the site? Okay.
CRM doesn't necessarily have to be. Yes, I can connect it to my site. I can just do a subdomain and connect it to the CRM. Yes, I understand it. The CRM that I'm using for the person is asking, let me just pull it up. It is a specific CRM that I have to like. The name is really hard to remember. Yeah. So it's basically made by Zardharma User Interface CRM. It's basically just like a VoIP service, but it has its personal CRM in it where I can share stuff through it and add all the staff, everything. There's also Bitrix24, which is what I mostly offer for my clients. It's completely free as well. Both of them is free for starting the CRM, but the VoIP one, if you're going to buy any phone numbers, you're gonna need to purchase a phone number in order to keep the CRM in charge.
Okay. So your lead tracker your website, is that like a contact form that initiates the leads? If that's the correct terminology.
Yes, that's what I. Yes.
Okay, cool. So contact form goes into the CRM.
Right. So I just put it in the chat so people can actually read the name instead of just voice.
Okay.
All right. All right. That's it.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
All right. Thank you everyone who's come up so far. If there's anyone else who wants to tell us about their site, or even if you don't need, even if you don't know what site you want to create, but you want to create one, you can come up here and I can help you sort of workshop and brainstorm ideas.
Shall we move on to the final slide?
Yeah. If no one else has got anything, then I'm okay with finishing early. Yeah, move on for me, please, Omni. Thank you. This is what I would like you to do for next week. I want you to finalize your idea on what you want to make in this bootcamp. So I recommend. Sorry, my voice is going. I recommend that you download a code editor, and also experiment a little bit with Figma. That's figma.com. And sort of get a bit of an idea of how that works. Because next week we'll be looking at the UI and the design of your site. I want you to figure out what site you want to make. So I have a weird template that's poorly designed. But just some questions like what's the name of your website? What is the I guess what type of site is it? Is it a portfolio? Is it a small business site? Is it an e-learning platform maybe? Or something like that? What goals do you have for your site? What is like, how do you measure success? If you've succeeded, what does that look like? Who's your audience? Who's your demographics? And function. And then also, what have other similar sites done well? And what have they not done so well? How can you be better than your potential competitors? And then finally, there's a question: what essential features does your site need to have before it's launched? And what's sort of on the roadmap? What might you do later on? So all these questions, I want you to kind of brainstorm, have some ideas about what sort of things are you, what do you want your site to have, basically? So it doesn't have to be in this format. I will post in the web dev bootcamp channel. If anyone is interested in joining this bootcamp, let us know and we can add you to that channel for a free trial. Naturally, do you want to talk a bit about the membership? You can become a unlimited member in order to gain access to the rest of this course.
Yeah, so we're part of CodeCamp. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. We have lots of other communities. You can see here, if you click any of those, you can join those other communities for game development, filmmaking, screenwriting, writing, animation, languages, and so on. And in today's class is free. We also have a number of other, free upcoming workshops here on CodeCamp. I think the main thing is just, so Joel, next week at the same exact time, you're going to be teaching another course, and this course is going to be free and open to everyone. Is that right, Joel? We're still working out the schedule of the whole boot camp. So, but at least if I understand correctly, next week we're going to have another session.
Yeah, so definitely next week we're going to have week 1 where we're going to look at the design of your site. And I just going by, we're going to make a final decision based on how many people are interested in joining. If we only have one person, for example, who's interested in joining, then we'll restart and do this week in a few weeks or something. But if we've got lots of interest, then we'll go ahead as we initially planned and have week 2 after that.
So the key thing to remember is next week, at the same time, come back. We have another workshop with Joel next Friday at the same exact time.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I think the rest of this bootcamp will be free. And let us know. I will make the... Yes, thank you very much to Omni and Nacho for helping me out. I could not have done it without you two. Thank you all very much. I will get you all added to the Web Developer Bootcamp channel, which you all should already have access to. And if you have any questions during the week, feel free to message in there, and I will help you as best I can. Thank you, everyone, and see you all next week.